Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today we got more of a saucy, spicy little number for you guys. This is going to be a conversation around the potential for the radical reward changes that are being proposed in the most recent proposal. If you haven't been tracking, there is a significant proposal that's up for decentralized governance vote. So this means SPS vote. Like you and me, if you got SPS, you can come in here and vote yay or nay on this thing. Split ranked battle reward pools by league. This is what it's called. There's a lot more to it than just that. But this idea is in part that modern and wild would have separate reward pools. And then it's far more actually above and beyond. That part, I think most people would agree, is probably a fine thing. In fact, maybe a good thing. But then there's a huge other component that we need to discuss, and you might know about it, but we're going to get into it, and then I'm going to share my thoughts, and we're going to address some comments. There's a ton of comments on a recent video I did that are around this issue. So we're going to talk about this new proposal. We're going to talk about the possible for rank reward changes in Splinterlands, dramatically impacting and influencing, I guess, rewarding the highest levels of competitive play, and maybe making it not at all financially lucrative for bronze or silver. So we got to talk about it. Okay. Before we get into it, my name is Dwayne Cunningham. I go by Infidel 1258. You can just call me 12. And I do answer questions on my channel as regularly as I can. In this one, we are coming at this from a specific topic, but then there's a ton of comments I'm going to get into, and I will do my best to answer as many of them as I can without trying to, readdress issues that we already tackle or, going around in circles. Okay. So without further ado, like I say, there's a proposal in here. You probably already heard about it. It's been, I think most people are talking about it, but I haven't seen a bunch of videos on it exactly. So, and now the vote's been swinging. At first it was like the votes, see, as you can see, there's millions of votes. There's 113 million votes for, 21 million votes against. They need 43 million votes to pass. So we've got way more than enough votes to pass, but we simultaneously don't just need 43 million votes. We actually need 43 million votes, plus we need 66%. And if the against kind of pushes against us and we get below the 66 percentile, it'll be a no. And so it doesn't matter if there's 113 yeses, if there's, roughly 50 million no's, then it would be a no, because that would be lower than 66. Vote closes in 4 days. At first, this was like a slam dunk. Everyone was saying, yeah. And now there's quite a few people saying no. So that's partly why I want to talk about it today. Also, I recently did this video over here called Reward Nerfs Incoming. And there's a ton of comments on this one, including some people that Adam's been around for a minute, and he's been a supporter of the channel, but he's feeling pretty spicy. So we're going to address Adam's comment as well as some of these others in here. Gatherings in there. Who else? I might have to just pick some favorites, honestly. DJ Bagman's in the house. Chuni's got something to say. So Scott's in there. Tons of familiar faces. And I'll do my best to answer as many of them as I can, but there's this is maybe 30, 40 comments or something. So, summary. In a nutshell, the reward changes will the rewards will divide modern and wild. That should be a good thing. That means there's a pool in modern, there's a pool in wild. I don't see how I don't really understand how that could be a bad thing. To me, that part seems like, who cares? It sounds like a positive thing for all considered, all involved. But the issue that seems to be really upsetting people is that the percentage of total rewards that are available in the given leagues, champion will get 30% of all rewards, diamond 25, gold 20, 15 and 10 for bronze. That means 90,000 SPS per day for bronze, all the way up to 203 times as much in champion. I've heard a lot of people saying that you're going to get like a fraction of an SPS for bronze, and you're going to get like dozens of SPS for a win in champion. That doesn't really make sense to me. Now, I guess it does, because there are a lot, 270,000 SPS for champion, and there's only like 100 to 150, I think, accounts that fight in champ. So that's probably where it comes from. And there's so many, like there's probably 100,000 accounts that fight in bronze. But that's the thing, like, and here's, I guess, my first hot take. Don't be in bronze. Don't be in bronze. If you're in silver, there should be, I guess, marginally more rewards. But the problem is even silver is really easy to fight in, especially in modern, where the collection powers are lower. That doesn't mean that it's not going to give you anything. It still is going to give you stuff. And I don't see a lot of comments that are being honest and fair about this. Like you're still going to get loot chests. Those loot chests are still going to contain cards. They're going to 1 in 3 of them is going to be a card. You're going to get Chaos Legion packs. You're going to get, merits. You're going to get you're going to get lots of things in those loot chests, which in and of itself is reason to play the game. Like I'm seeing around the silver to gold threshold, it's very conceivable, very possible to get, in the neighborhood of probably $20 a month just playing this game. And the game costs $10, by the way. So it's like, that's doubling your money monthly just from play. And that's kind of that silver range. Now, it would be best if you had 2 accounts and you put all your silver power. If you have like 50,000 power, you put it into one account, grind that from novice to, high, mid silver, high silver, yeah. And then you're gonna get multiple bronze rewards, and then do the same in your second account the next season. That's one way that a young guy who's just getting started with 50,000 power or so could really maximize the number of chests and therefore maximize the number of cards. And through that process, definitely claim substantial rewards, especially across a long enough time horizon. Now, I'm not talking days, weeks, months. I'm talking years. Across years, this sort of approach will still garner significant rewards for a game that's fun anyways. And most games don't pay you anything. I think there's been a lot of people who have kind of grown accustomed to getting substantial rewards at bronze ever since, really frankly, ever since they tweaked the rewards and gave bronze like way more chests than they used to have. Remember, they used to get 5 chests a season and they'd get 1 chest a day. And now they're getting like, you can get potentially 10, 15 chests a day, and you can get, really, you could get 50 chests a season or something like that. That's a lot, guys. And 1 in 3 of them is a card, and it never used to be that way. It used to be 1 in 10 of them was a card. So that's a lot of cards. So that's got to be said right out of the gate before we even get into the questions, because no one's talking about that. Everyone's just saying, oh man, the SPS rewards and the rich keep getting richer and this is super unfair. And guys, take a deep breath. This is significant, but this is significant too. 90,000 SPS being printed daily into each of the different leagues, and it's being stretched paper thin because there are a ton of bots. But I don't know. I mean, get out of bronze. What else can I say? Like, and otherwise be okay with it. Like, so I feel like those are the 2 options. 1, get out of bronze, or 2, be okay with it and just say, in 5 years, I will have accumulated assets through my time and attention, and it will be meaningful then, even if it's not today, tomorrow, the next week. Those are the 2 choices, right? Really. I mean, the third choice is just step back altogether, sell the assets, liquidate probably at a loss. But I mean, I don't know. That could almost be the end of the video, but I know that you guys have some strong feelings and I want to read some of those comments. That's my 2 cents. Now I want to kind of go back and forth with you guys in these comment sections, see what you guys are saying. I saw Adam's comment. He's fired up. Adam's been a supporter of the channel for a long time. Adam, thank you. And I read your comment already. I'm going to reread it now so that I have it fresh in my mind. And I want it to be clear for the audience. But he says, I'm currently disgusted with Splinterlands and their hypocrisy. Maybe it's time to exit. I think he means exit. I've been playing for almost a year now, and I put in $1,000 and I've gotten 3,200 SPS and about 50,000 collection power. Now getting to the point where I can comfortably fight in silver at League Silver 1 without having to rank cards. And now they want to nerf the silver rewards. My account is worth 600 to 700, so no ROI yet. And the whole governance thing being decentralized and fair is a joke. I can't, with a conscience, good conscience, recommend this game to people now. I don't see how the average person with the average income would want to put their money here if they are looking to play to earn games, unless they just want to get in for fun. So there's a ton of things there. I mean, I guess I just want to start by saying, Adam, thanks for always being around and for dropping comments and for being part of the community. I don't agree though, like is the thing. And I have to, you know me, like I need to try and be straight with you. I want to speak to you. I'm hopefully speaking not just to you, but to anybody who's hearing and who's, you know, maybe in that boat of like being behind it. Like you put in X and you don't have X anymore in terms of US dollar value. You're feeling like you couldn't necessarily liquidate for it to, you know, it would be a loss to liquidate. And so you like don't want to do it, but you're also feeling reluctant or grumpy about what's going on. That sucks. But I really think it boils down to three things. One, keep playing, recognizing that you're going to get a ton of rewards in this new ecosystem of rewards. You're going to get way more loot chests than you ever would have before at Silver. That was not at all like you potentially can get at Silver. If you're playing in Silver 1, I'm sure you're getting in the neighborhood of $20 a month, I bet, from your rewards. And on a good month, it could be more. That's dailies and seasons, I would think. And SPS is a part of that, and they are theoretically nerfing that. But your cards are the real moneymaker. Like, yeah, you want the SPS. I'm not saying you should. Of course, we want the SPS. We want more assets for free for less effort, don't we? We all do, even me. But the thing is, the number of loot chests you're getting at Silver is way higher than it used to be. The number of cards in those loot chests is way higher than it used to be. Those cards are, in my opinion, just as meaningful and just have the same significant opportunity for price appreciation that any other card ever has in this game. And this sort of change that they are attempting to make and might not yet make, this change would theoretically reinforce a deeper and deeper commitment by the player base to higher and higher levels, which would help you as a card holder in 3, 4, 5 years as the prices appreciate. That's going to be a product. That's a byproduct of necessitating people to get more and more cards to fight at higher and higher levels. That's going to cause price increases. That's going to be a thing that helps benefit you. And when you talk about how you're down, your accounts down to $600 or $700, on what metric? Like, guys, don't talk about these sorts of investments in this sense. Like when I go in and I look at what my Peak Monster says is what my cards are worth, always acknowledge either out loud or at least to yourself, like it's not worth that. It's worth far more if I see the value in it and if I'm willing to stay here and stay the course for the years that are going to come. Because one, the game is going to be here, and two, it's fun, and three, these assets are limited in nature and deflationary. And so it's not $600 or $700, it's $600 or $700 now. And so if you wanted to exit at this very moment, like you kind of suggested, then yeah, you're going to be strapped. But are you feeling, I don't know Adam's exact situation. We've talked before many times. I don't know if you need that money. And if you do that would suck. That would be a pinch. But I'm saying if your vision isn't days, weeks, months, and your vision is years from now, it isn't $600 or $700. 100% full confidence. I say that in $600 or $700 worth of cards in I don't even know what cards they are. It doesn't matter to me. But in 4 or 5 years, those cards are going to be worth 5 to 20 times as much. That's my guess. And I don't even know what cards you have, but that's my conservative guess. And it could be more. That's my conservative guess. But you have to be part of that recipe is not just that those cards are going to be worth 5 to 20 times as much. So pay attention, guys. I'm not just saying if you had $600 worth of cards in 4 years, it's going to be worth 20 times that. Yes and no, I am. But there's a big caveat that you need to use the assets from day to day between here and there, between now and the 4-year window, to accumulate even more of the assets. And that's the magnification. That's the snowball getting bigger while it goes down the hill. So I just got to reject the idea that your cards are worth 600 or 700. I also want to just kind of push strongly back on the idea that this is not going to be beneficial to the game or the economy. I think it is, if they even pass it, by the way. They haven't passed it yet, guys. But if they do, I think it would be beneficial because it's going to drive people deeper. Those who are serious are going to go deeper, and those investments are going to cause cards that you guys own to go up in a price. But I get it, though. You know, the SPS has gone down significantly, or will go down significantly if they push through with this. But the SPS just started. And by the way, the SPS is way more profitable than the EC used to be. So I feel like it's too early to really know how good or bad this would be. It's also, I think, short-sighted to say that the SPS going down would break the economy for bronze or silvers, because the cards have been so greatly buffed. No one's acknowledging that. And it's way more cards, way more loot chests. So, I mean, I understand the frustration, and it's almost like I'm hearing from a few different sources. It's like the idea, the real frustration seems to be not even that there's a nerf exactly, but more that it's like we believed it was going to be X, and then suddenly the proposal was Y, and that is a big difference to us. And yes, it is a huge difference. So I understand that frustration, but I don't think that materially changes anything if your view is 4 years down the line. I think you keep doing what you're doing, and you use the $600 or $700 ROI, $600 or $700 worth of account to chip away at daily rewards, season rewards for the next 4 years. If you're even enjoying the game, and I think he is. He's just upset with this issue, this economy issue. And through that process, you're going to garner daily and season rewards that are going to be really meaningful in 4 years, 5 years time. And I think that's a guarantee. Now, I guess anything could happen because a black swan event could transpire with Splinterlands that I can't possibly foresee. And that would be a real, that is the only thing I'm imagining that would take this off the radar. But if this game keeps going in the direction it's heading, and based on the trajectory they've set, I think all of our assets and those people who are playing daily between here and that time will benefit wildly. And that's why I say to Adam and to anybody who's kind of in Adam's boat, just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, if the rewards got less, but they're still good, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't be a deal breaker. This is a video game that pays you, and the rewards are still significant, both from a card standpoint, but also from an SPS standpoint, because guess what? Even if it's trivial amounts of SPS, they're all adding up, and they are going to be meaningful. But more important than that, there's this invitation. If this even goes through, there's an invitation to all of us to go into that next level. If we think the rewards are so ridiculously high at Diamond or Champion, then come up here to Diamond or Champion, right? Because that's also the unspoken sentiment that I'm hearing. It's like, wow, the rich keep getting richer, or something. Not Adam didn't say that, but others are saying it. I also hear, this is just, the developers looking out for themselves and their friends. These types of like crony capitalism type comments. And if you guys think that that's really what's happening, then go ahead and take a bite and get involved to play at Diamond or Champion. But it's not my opinion that the developers would be that unscrupulous. I actually believe they put this forward, with their feeling that this would be best for our economy. And I actually do agree with it for all the reasons I've already implied, but more too. So I don't know if I have anything else to say to Adam, but I guess I just want to close by saying, Adam, thank you for you've been here for months. Like you say you've been playing for a year. I think you've been commenting for a year. You've been supporting the channel. You've been, we go back. Adam was helping out as one of the scholars too. So I appreciate the comment. And I can tell you're very upset. I'm sorry that if this feels like an attack or anything like that, I really don't mean it to, but we got to talk, guys. Like if we have disagreement, we gotta discuss it. There's no point in just you're right, I'm wrong, let's just be quiet about it. Or because that's the other alternative. When we come up with resistance, somebody disagrees with us, we just quietly sit and stew. Let's talk about these things, because the decision's not even made. So let's go ahead and talk about it so we can go into an informed conversation on this. And that's the other thing too. This is an SPS governance vote. If people disagree, go ahead and buy some SPS and get involved in the conversation and say no to it, right? So some of the pushback, if Adam was here, or if other people with Adam's mindset were here, I suspect people would say, well, I can't buy that many SPS and I can't put tens of thousands of dollars in the game. Okay, but then you kind of have to, if you're not willing to take that financial step, then you do need to say, well, I'm a passenger here, I'm not the driver. And you just run with what's given to you. And either you say, nope, deal breaker, I can't go with that. And that's totally okay. That's everyone's choice. We all have to ask ourselves that. Or you say, you think it through and you say the pros and the cons of me continuing under this new regime would be still positive, not as positive. I'm disappointed in that. And maybe I even, fight and voice that concern and frustration, but I'm going to keep playing, because why not? My assets are worth less in fiat currency value today than they were. They're going to generate revenue. Why not continue to use them until such time that they at least pay you back in a financial sense? Again, I don't feel they're worth $600 or $700. I feel they're worth thousands of dollars based on what I told you earlier. But you need to then weigh kind of that future cost of money against your current opportunity, because you might say, heck, I'm so frustrated. I'm so angry. I can't even enjoy the game. The $600 would be better in my pocket than the $1,000 in the future. Not to mention, Dwayne's probably right. The assets will appreciate. Plus, I'll earn more cards and value between here and the next 4 years. But I just can't even be bothered to play because I'm so upset. If that's your story, then that makes your decision, right? You got to step away. But if you can kind of take a breath and kind of think through some of the things I've said about how this might actually benefit the economy, how this is an invitation to future growth and like a firm foundation for our highest level of investors, which is who we want, guys. We don't want guys who are just buying bronze accounts and putting $10 worth of cards in. We want people who buy substantial decks. And that's why the game has to aim at supporting that economy, right? Plus, it's not so much even that there's a huge distribution between, like this is 270,000 for champion, might seem like a lot, but when we get more people in champion, which we should based on this sort of decision, that would alter the division, right? Versus 90,000 is a lot of SPS for bronze. Those people haven't put anything into the game. That's a lot of SPS. But we know for a fact that there's tens of thousands of bots there that are going to leech up that value. So therefore, even though it's a huge pool of SPS, 90,000 a day, it's getting just disintegrated by this massive army of bots. And so people will say, get rid of the bots. I know you will. I saw some comments in here. We could talk about that, but let's find a comment on that issue before we go there. Ricardo says, I kind of would love to see if everyone just got into gold in a week from now. Yeah. I can bet my house the next town hall would be, we're going to nerf gold rewards. You see where this is going, right? So Ricardo's got this is both a little bit funny and second of all, like a serious critique. So I've heard this too. This idea that they're just going to keep moving the goalposts. I mean, they are in a sense going to keep moving the goalposts is the true answer, right? Like, and we should know that now. In fact, we should have known that the day we got involved, because this is a game where they're literally releasing new cards, which is a movement of the gameplay goalposts. What is the meta? How do you play the game? They've been changing brawls. They're introducing land. They've been changing how we earn rewards, what rewards look like. They're constantly changing the game. And so I feel like Ricardo's main point is that they're going to keep changing the game. And therefore I don't necessarily know how how I can invest safely and securely in this game and still be certain of like future rewards. That's in a nutshell what he's saying. But here's the thing: you do know you're kind of, you're not acknowledging you're leaving at a major truth unspoken, which is this. You say, if everyone made it to gold, they would then nerf gold rewards. Well, probably they would. If there was 99% of all accounts were fighting in gold, they probably would. But you know the answer. Go to diamond, go to champion. And you should want to do that because these cards are meaningful in nature. They're deflationary. They will appreciate. Every card you get is an investment. You should want to. You shouldn't want to find the lowest common denominator, the easiest way to quote unquote invest in the system to maximize your returns. It shouldn't just be like, okay, now I'm made it there and now I'm just going to sit back and kick back for the next 4 years and like let the money tree grow. The whole point is, if that is happening, they should want to identify that and stop it. And I think if you weren't, I think people will agree to that. Like, and I know Ricardo and others are going to say the sentiment right now is that's ridiculous. We need to know where we stand, and we need to understand how much, like how many assets I need to buy. Like I don't want to be at silver now and feel that's as substantial, and then it needs to be gold, and then later diamond. It has to be diamond, and then later eventually I have to have champion, or I can't even get anything out of the game. You've suggested that you won't be able to get anything out of the game unless you play at gold today, and you've suggested that in the future it'll be diamond eventually, and so on. That's what you're suggesting. But you should want to go deeper, and the game should continue to iterate in ways that do this sort of thing and incentivizing people to go deeper into it for more rewards. And lastly, like I said to Adam, you're not giving any acknowledgement to the fact that at bronze and silver, you get a huge amount of chests with a gigantic amount of card rewards. Not one comment toward that. Not even an implication. Well, at least we still get a lot of cards. We're still getting way more loot chests. No, nothing at all. Just a kind of almost, like a kind of angry comment about how they're just going to keep doing this. And it's almost like you're really accusing, I think, the developers of being unscrupulous and like changing it, like taking out the rug from under you. And I don't think that's fair at all. Again, Ricardo, thanks for being around. You've been here for 9 months, publicly subscribed to channel. So guys, hear me. I see that you guys are frustrated, but I'm still going to push back. I refuse to just say, oh, I could come out here and say the 5 things you all want me to say and probably have more subscribers. I'm not going to do that. I really want to equip you with my own views that I think are going to help you maximize your returns through blockchain and NFT gaming, through Splinterlands specifically, but broadly those bigger issues, those bigger topics. I refuse to just say what you guys want me to say. I aim to say the things I believe are true and helpful. Period. Full stop. So thank you, Ricardo. And I'm sorry if that sounded harsh. Let's keep going. Yahia. Punishing real players because the bots they don't want to ban. And then Mickey G, who me and him got into a couple times. He says absolutely on the money with this comment. So here's the thing. This is the bot comment. Punishing real players. Who do you mean real players? Like which real players? The people who are playing at bronze who haven't put any money into the game at all? Are you a player or are you like, let's be perfectly real here. If you have 500 power in this game, are you even a player in this game? Like, you get cards every season. Are you selling them? How come you don't have, more power? Did you just start the game? Okay, that's fine. But I don't know that we're punishing. First of all, it hasn't gone through yet. And second of all, if it goes through, there will be some real players that get fewer SPS rewards. But again, do you comment on the cards that you're getting? Did you say, well, we certainly are getting a lot more loot chests lately, but I'm really disappointed in this SPS. No, it's like just a general accusation. And then more importantly, guys, this idea that the game is doing what they can, that they're implementing these sort of reward changes to impact bots. That's true. I think that's in part true. But then the continued suggestion that they only need to do this because they don't want to ban bots. Nope, wrong. There is no way. Stop, guys. There's no way to ban bots without dramatically and forever changing the game that we call Splinterlands. And you might argue that that would be for the betterment of the game, but this game with this development team and this vision will never go there. So this idea that that's on the table as an option, and why don't you just go ahead and do that thing, which we all agree would be beneficial. First of all, we do not all agree that would be beneficial. Bots serve several purposes here, including creating cheap cards that you buy and rent, by the way, because they are the cheapest labor that's out there, and they are creating new cards in our system that are being sold for really cheap. That's going to translate into cheap purchases and also cheap rental cards. Without them, the cards are way more expensive. And I think so. We need to be clear. Bots are not entirely bad. We also need to be clear. Bots cannot be easily banned. How would you even do that? No one has a good idea for this, by the way. I've heard many ideas. Oh, we would make you have to KYC on your account. Guys, this is blockchain. No one's going to do that. Like the whole point, this is not Web 2.0. This whole thing is special because that's not us. And so this idea that that's just on the table and why don't we go ahead and do that thing? It's not on the table. And so is this ultimately going to unintentionally punish some people who are playing at bronze or silver? Yeah, in a sense it is. But when we look at the fuller picture, the rewards at bronze and silver are substantial, and there's not a lot of cost to get there, especially now that Modern League exists, which, by the way, is another benefit that they give to new players that you are not mentioning. None of the four comments we've read so far have mentioned anything from the other side of the comment, like the extra loot chests at lower levels, like the extra card content in those loot chests, the fact that the new Modern League is half the collection power and therefore designed directly to benefit new players. Even the fact that Chaos Legion exists and Rift Watchers is coming out. These are benefits. These are attempts to bring on and help you guys, the new guys. They're going to help the old guys too, because we're going to buy lots of these packs. But these are the things and the ways that the game is constantly pointing to you, the new people. And yet we hear so much kind of complaining. So, I mean, it's going to continue, I guess. I don't agree. Bots are not ever going to leave, and that's crystal clear, and it always has been. And so please don't be surprised when they continue to nerf bots, but not ban them. I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm going to have to probably call it soon here, but you know what? We'll skip the Gathering the Magic because he's another great voice in the space, not a member for 9 months. I think the team needs to implement a daily cap for ranked battles. Okay, let me think that through. The team needs to implement a daily cap for ranked battles. That's interesting, actually. He's saying that so that the bots would have that. That would reduce the bots' ability to gimmick the economy, and in that way punish just bots. Let me read this. This will limit bots farming 24 hours a day and not affect actual players. Set the yeah, he's right. See, if you could only play 30 games a day, period, or let's say 40 maybe, heck, even 100, then the bot could not play all day long, 3,000 matches a day, which you can't do. So that's a huge advantage that bots have that you cannot have. Like no man, woman, or child could do that. And it's an advantage because it can lead to things like win trading. You're controlling. They can trade into value losses into themselves, into their bot farms. It also allows you to climb rank far faster with with considerably poor cards. And so he's totally right. This is a big deal. That's really, really smart, Gathering. And this, to the earlier points like Mickey and Yahia were implying, in part, this proposal is intended to nerf bots and bot farms. And so if there was a better way to nerf bot farms, which he's making me think this is a much better way to nerf bot farms. Set the cap at like 200 rank battles or so, yeah. They also need to add a lottery type item to make daily grinding and season rewards more exciting. A lottery type item. Wonder what that means. See my video I did on locked loot chests, keys and potions, power potions. Thanks, Wayne. Cool, man. I haven't seen that one yet. But yeah, you guys should check out his channel. And so it sounds like he's talking about like essentially like I played Diablo 2. You could go fight the Ubers, and you make your way to Uber Diablo. It's like this game within the game for like higher level, and you could probably have like lottery type items that lead to special locked loot chests and special power potions. That'd be interesting. That's interesting. But I think the second idea, while cool, is like less applicable to the broad conversation of the big nerf possibly coming to lower level gaming. This is really cool, Gathering. I really think a lot of people, I haven't seen that a lot. I have seen other people talk about it, but this could really focus fire bot armies and therefore maybe appease some of these people who feel bots are ruining the game, and simultaneously allow the door to stay a bit open at the lowest levels for a bit more rewards. Even though, again, I'll finish here, I feel strongly that bronze and silver rewards are still substantial. Period. Not kind of maybe a little bit, totally substantial. The number of loot chests, the cards in there, and across many years of play, there will be bronze warriors today that take this game seriously and will have hundreds or thousands of dollars in 4 years' time for their time, just for playing a video game, guys. So all of this is why, guys, Adam, buddy, I love you. Like, I really do. We've personally talked, and Ricardo, I don't know you as well, but you guys, like, thank you for the comments. I can't agree, because there's no sense of kind of nuance to your point where you bring into the conversation all the things that the game has done for the lower levels, because they've done a ton of things and they will continue to aim at helping new players. They always will. I'm sure they will. At least that's my confidence. If you don't share that confidence, I think that's you gotta confront that. And maybe you do leave, because if you don't trust them, then you shouldn't be here. But what I'm trying to say is I think this makes sense based on what I'm seeing. Now, I like what Gathering suggested. And if they were capable of doing something like that, that could probably reopen the door for some of the bronze and silver warriors to get a bit more. Guys, you're getting so much. Stop with this stuff. When I used to play the game at bronze and silver, there was no rewards at all. DC was way less lucrative than SPS, and there's way more SPS, not to mention these loot chests. So it's just, you don't even really fully understand how good you've got it, and therefore there's a sense that it should be better, and it was better, and it should always get better, but it can and it will. You just need to stick around and fight through that. It takes time and attention. It takes commitment. It takes months and years, not days and weeks. And so if that sounds harsh, I'm sorry. It's got to be some tough love, because I strongly disagree. And hey, if I'm wrong about this reward being positive for the game, you know, I mean, I hope and believe in my heart that I would come on here after I saw what it was doing, and I would talk about that, and I would say, wow, I misread this. But I feel like after looking at this, and this is, you're going to say, oh, it's just because you're a whale and you want to see the whale benefits. Oh, guys, come on. I give away so much to the community, from like literal cash, cards, SPS. That's not me. I'm not just looking out specifically and exclusively for me. Of course I have my own interests, and that's okay. So do you. But I am doing, I think, a good job, and I'm certainly trying to analyze the nuance, and I'm urging you to do the same. So there's nothing more to say. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I hope you have an amazing day. God bless.